I had two questions, if you don't mind. One
Sure.
is, do you have any comment on the current record levels of government debt in both Canada and the U.S.? And the second one is, I just wanted to sort of understand if you guys had any feeling on whether Trump's tax cuts have done what he felt they would or what maybe they should have been doing.
Well, there's two different things there. I think, first, I'm not trying to be an apologist for Canada, but our deficit issues are just infinitesimal compared to what's going on in the States. We're running maybe if you push it, a $30 billion deficit against a $1 trillion deficit in the U.S., and if you do the 10-to-1 factor, we're just a very small percentage of our GDP as a deficit, and we're, relatively speaking, a lower percentage, especially at the federal level, of actual debt to GDP as well. So I'm not giving the Liberals credit for that, but the bottom line is that at the end of the day, it's not really a horror story. The U.S. situation seems to be much more of a concern, given that they've got a $1 trillion deficit when the economy is just humming away on all 8 cylinders. I struggle with that.
So, I mean, the U.S. has a government debt problem. Canada has a consumer debt problem. So we don't have as high a government debt, but we have a high consumer debt. So that would be the concern there. As far as the tax cuts that Trump did, I think a lot of people have trouble with the timing of it because it happened, when the economy, he was lowering taxes when unemployment was low. You missed out on an opportunity to use that and stimulate the economy, when he didn't need it. The one thing, and it's kind of technical, the U.S. by lowering taxes, they made the corporate tax rate in the U.S. competitive on a global basis. U.S. companies were suffering because taxes for corporations were higher in the U.S. So I think that was a good move. It's something that needed to be done. You had to change the way companies are taxed in the U.S. to make them able to compete on a global basis.
Yeah, the argument for individuals in the U.S. was much lighter. There wasn't really a strong case for having to lower taxes at the individual level, but at the corporate level, yes.